morning and welcome to episode 25 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay and this is my podcast all about knitting, crocheting, occasionally a few other crafty things will be thrown in there, but usually a whole lot of knitting. Today is June 29th, 2017. It is about 10 a.m. in the morning. We're going to see how this goes this morning. I usually don't record this late. It's Thursday. I usually don't record on Thursday. The kids, since it's summer break, they're both in their rooms right now. You may hear a lot of coming and going, and it could get a little crazy. I've only got 30% battery. That's my fault. Why did I not check this and charge this? I don't know. So we're gonna see how this goes this morning. I've got some crazy, this is my pool hair. We have been going to the pool a lot this summer. The kids are just really enjoying spending time swimming and out in the sunshine and getting some fresh air. So it's been a good summer so far, but that is not why you all are here. You are here for the knitting. So let's jump right in. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady. And we also have a group on Ravelry for the podcast. If you just search in the groups tab for Crazy Sock Lady podcast, it should pop right up. And please join us over there if you have not already. There's always something fun going on. We've got some swapless swaps, some knit-alongs. There's always something. So right now we're gonna go through what is going on in the group. First up, the swapless swaps. We have two that are open right now. The first one is the Yarn Enabler. I have mentioned this one before. I'm gonna look over here, I've got my notes, because I wanna let you guys know how many spots are available in each. For the Yarn Enabler, we have 27 spots available still. That one, they're both actually, you get 10 minis, 40 yards each. 27 spots in the Yarn Enabler. That one will be half self-striping and half variegated yarns. So 5 of each. It is $35 is what it starts at. It just depends on your location. So the starting is $35 if you're in the US. International, it does go up. And that one, the money is due by August 15th and it ships by September 15th. My birthday. The next one is a new one, and this is with Angie of Camel City Dye Works, and I am so excited about this one. I love Angie. She's so sweet, and I love her dyeing, so I am very excited that we are offering this swapless swap through her. And this one, the money is due September 15th, and they will ship by October 15th. For this one, we have 42 spots available. Still, there have been some that have filled up because I did announce this on Instagram a little while back. So be sure to head over there if you want to join in one of those. You just go and put your name in there, and then the money is due by, for the Yarn Enabler, again, it's due by August 15th. For Angie's Camel City Dye Works, it is due by September 15th. Little drink. I got coffee this morning. We've been to Dunkin' Donuts. We got donuts for breakfast. Maybe not the best idea when I want the kids to kind of, while I'm trying to record, to sugar them up with donuts, but I wanted a coffee this morning. I'm trying so hard not to get into old habits, but lately I've had quite a few of those. We do have a coupons code thread in the group, so be sure to head over there if you're interested in doing any shopping on Etsy or any other crafty yarny websites. Check there and see if there are any coupon codes available. Thank you so much to all of the makers that are generously offering those in the group. And if you are a maker, you can head over to that thread and just pop your coupon code in there. Knit-alongs. We have 2 knit-alongs currently running. The first one is our Sock Crazy Cow for 2017, and that is a year-long knit-along. Any socks that you make, baby socks don't count, but any other socks that you make this year, head over there and get those entered. First podcast of July, we will do our next prize drawing for that. Our next knit-along is for the mini stripe cowl, and that is a pattern by Angie Kimmel of Camel City Dye Works. And that started June 15th and it ends July 31st. Now you do have to knit Angie's pattern. It is available on Ravelry, but you do not have to use her yarns or any specific yarns. You can use any yarns for that. Angie is offering kits in her shop for that, and I would highly recommend that you at least give those a check out. Give those a check out. That makes no sense. That you check those out and see if there are any that you like. This one that I am using, the set was called Cozy, and I will be showing that in WIPs. I've got it started and I'm loving the pattern. I would highly recommend it. I think I'm going to do a few of these for Christmas. I think they will make great gifts and a great way to use up your scrap yarn or some minis that you have, because Who doesn't have those lying around? I think we all do. Now, Angie is offering a coupon code for viewers of my podcast. The code is CSL15, and that will get you 15% off in her shop through July 31st. So if you are thinking of starting this and you want to try Angie's yarn, head over and take advantage of that coupon code. Last thing that we have for administrative info this morning, it seems like there's quite a bit. I mentioned last week the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast is hosting a knitting charity drive, and I did want to touch base with that again and make sure that if y'all missed last week's episode, you're hearing about it here again. That is a knitting charity drive that Jessica is hosting, and she's asking for handmade baby items. In return, while supplies last, she will be sending, if you send her a package of baby items, she will in turn send you one skein of indie dyed sock yarn. So head over to her podcast group, the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast, and check that out. You could also take a look at her podcast. She's been chatting about it on there as well. I've started some items to send out to Jessica. She is accepting them through July 31st, I believe is the date that she's starting this at, and then she's going to kind of reevaluate and go from there. So I've got some items to show you in finished objects and works in progress for that. So if you love doing baby items, this is just a great thing. They're going to be donated to a pregnancy crisis center. So I think it's just a lot of fun to make some baby items, use up some stash yarn that you have. That's what I've been doing, and I've really been enjoying that, I must say, getting some of this yarn out of my stash, using it, and knowing that these items are going to be going to someone who needs them. I just think it's a wonderful thing to do. I hear a jet going over. Can you guys hear that? I don't know if it's gonna get really loud. All right, now we are going to talk about finished objects. I have a few things to talk about today. I'm going to just reach over here and grab a few of them. First, I'm going to show you a couple of baby hats. These will be going to Jessica for the charity knitting drive. And these were just out of some stash yarn. I'm not sure what the name of the yarn is. I do apologize. They were just something that I've had left over from other baby hats or items that I've made. But here is the first one. And I do know that it is a baby weight yarn. I would say it's probably just something that I picked up at Joann's or Michael's, Hobby Lobby maybe. Not sure. And here's the second one. I love how this one's striped. And the pattern that I used for these, this is a free pattern on Ravelry. It is called My Little Baby Hat by Elizabeth Marino. And it does have instructions for baby weight yarn and worsted weight yarn as well. So a great little pattern to check out if you love making little baby items. They were super easy, fast knits. So I'm hoping to get a few more of these whipped up to be able to send out to Jessica. All right, next finished object that I have to show you is a pair of socks. These are my June socks, and for these, the pattern that I used is the Times Square socks by Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast. These are part of her New York City sock collection that she has out right now. So here they are. And I absolutely really enjoyed this pattern. Not as much as my May ones. Those are still my favorite pattern that she has done, but I enjoyed this one so much. Look at this detail. This looks like a cable, but it's not. This is kind of like a faux cable. So easy, so fun. As you can see, I did my slip stitch heel flap and heel turn gusset, 64 stitches, US 1, 2.25 millimeter. Really enjoyed it. Let me take it off so I can show you the cable detail, well, the faux cable detail on the front. So this is what a lot of my knitting time has went to lately. This and Austin's blanket, which we'll talk about next. But I wanted to get these done because, like I said, they're my June socks, and I've really kept up with, I've done more than one pair a lot of the months. When I put these in yesterday, my total so far for this year is 17 pairs of socks. Pretty good, I would say. So I've definitely done more than one pair a month, but I have done very good so far at keeping up with Mina's sock collection and making sure that I get these done. And I'm also entering my socks into the Naughty Knitwits Socket Year Long Knit Along that they're having. And I've kept up with that. I have not kept up with the stuff it, knit along the little ornaments that I was doing. Yeah, I haven't kept up with those, but I've kept up with my socks, which is my absolute favorite thing to make. So I think that's pretty good. Oh, and I should say that for any finished objects, works in progress that I talk about today, everything is in my projects page on Ravelry. I'm just kidding actually, because I didn't make a page for these, but I just used the My Little Baby Hat pattern for these in Stash Yarn. But everything else is on Ravelry. There is a projects page for everything. I do notes in there on any changes that I've made or stitch counts that I do, anything like that. So you can usually find everything there. If you have any questions that are not found in the projects page, you can just go into the show notes or send me a message and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. My next finished object is actually not knitting. This is sewing. I talked last episode about how I wanted to make a skirt. Well, I did. I posted about it on Instagram, so if you follow me on there, you've already heard about this skirt. It is the skirt number 1 pattern by 100 Acts of Sewing. And I got the pattern, I got everything that I needed. I used Stash fabric, so I was super proud of myself for that. And let's go ahead and take a look at the skirt so that I can then talk to you about it. All right. So here it is. I do not have it on today. Gonna get blown out a little bit, I think, but here it is. It fits well. There's no problem with the fit whatsoever, other than it does bunch a little at the front. It kind of like poofs out under the waistband, but I think that's probably my own fault. I wanted to use a thicker elastic band than it called for, so I used a 1 inch, and I thought I had done my math's all correct to figure out the adjustments to add in that 1 inch instead of what it called for, which was ½ an inch maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But my maths or my measuring or something was not correct. So the elastic didn't fit quite as well as it should have in that little casing. But it still works. It does its purpose. It is a nice, comfy skirt. I just did not enjoy the process. I am definitely, when it comes to knitting, I'm a process knitter. I do enjoy the finished object, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy the process of it. I love picking out the yarns, finding the perfect pattern. I love everything about knitting a project. Sewing, I hate everything about the process. If I had a craft room, it might be different, where I could set everything up, shut the door, leave my mess in there, not feel like, okay, I've got everything out, I need to finish my item, get everything cleaned up. I just can't stand the mess that sewing creates in my little dining room area that we are in. So I tend to feel kind of rushed to get things done, do not enjoy the process at all. I enjoy picking out the fabric. I do enjoy that. But yeah, cutting the pattern, sewing it, pinning, ironing, all of the steps that go with sewing, I do not enjoy. I just want the finished item. So will I make more of these? That is yet to be determined. I do not know. Nowhere in the near future. I can say that. Maybe one day when we buy a house, we are renting right now, if you did not know that, maybe one day when we buy a house and we make sure that I have a set space for my crafting and creating, then I will kind of dive into sewing a little bit more. But for the moment, no, I have no future plans to make these, but I did enjoy it and I do love the skirt, so I'm very excited to have it. Okay, my last finished object, I'm not actually going to hold it up here and show you. I took some pictures, I took some video of it, so I'm going to, hopefully you'll be looking at that while you hear me talking about it. So I have shown this before and you guys have seen it many times on Instagram. It is Austin's Golden State Warriors Tunisian crochet grafgan, that's quite a mouthful, that I made for him. He is Golden State Warriors obsessed. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert all of that here. So I started this back on February 20th, just finished it yesterday. So June 28th is when I weaved in all those little tiny ends that were left hanging around because I was bad and I waited until the end to weave in the ends. I didn't touch a single one until I was completely done crocheting the blanket. So for this, I used a graph from mckcreations.com. She has a ton of graphs. This is the second Graphghan that I've done with a graph from her shop using Tunisian crochet, and I absolutely love her graphs. I love Tunisian crochet. I love doing Graphghans. They are just so much fun to see them come together. For this, I used Total Stash yarn, completely stashed from Totes in my garage. It is just a red heart yarn. The blue is royal blue and the yellow is gold. Austin loves it. He could care less that it was from Red Heart yarn. He doesn't know the difference in all the yarns. He thinks it feels just fine, and this will get a lot of wear and tear in use. So that is that blanket. It is in his room right now. He's covered up with it. So I'm pretty excited about how it turned out. He loves it. Wyatt now wants a Spider-Man one. For some reason, Wyatt is obsessed with Spider-Man all of a sudden. This is a new thing. I don't know. I said, how long are you going to like Spider-Man? Because you know kids, they go through phases. They're totally obsessed with one thing and then they move on to something else. They move on to something else. And he's still at that age where he's doing that. So I'm like, I can't whip a Spider-Man Graphghan up in a day. So how long are you going to like it? Because I've done him a Mario Graphghan. I've shown pictures of that before. And I think I actually showed it on one episode way back. And I enjoyed doing it, but now it normally sits in his closet because he's just not that into Mario anymore. Now we've moved on to Spider-Man. I don't know. I hate to be like, no, I'm not making you one, but that's a lot of work if he's going to, in 6 months, decide he doesn't really like Spider-Man anymore. So what do you do, moms? What do you do? Austin's Warriors blanket I was completely comfortable doing because the child is totally obsessed with basketball and the Warriors, and I feel like that's something that's going to continue on. We're actually redoing his entire room basketball and Warriors themed, so that's been a lot of fun to get to do that. But all right, that's all we've got for finished objects today. Now we are going to talk about works in progress. I've got 3 works in progress to talk about today. Look at all these pretty bags, you guys, like floral. Yeah, I'm really liking floral right now. Okay, I have no idea where I'm going to set this all. All right, first I'm going to try to go in order. Hopefully I don't shake the camera too much. All right, the first one is in my drawstring bag from Mountain State Stitches. And it is a pair of socks. I showed these last episode, but I think I just had the cuff done. I don't think I had gotten any of the pattern done. Now the yarn that I'm using, I know I have the tag, there we go, is Adelaide Cottage. It is her Toasty Socks base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the Reader I Married Him colorway. Show you the back side of the sock so you can get a look at how that yarn works up and just plain knit. Look how gorgeous. And here is the front. The pattern that I'm using for this is the Union Square Socks by Mina Phillip. This was the May pattern for her New York Sock Club collection, and I love it. Absolutely love this pattern. Talked about it before, how much I loved it. So yeah, I'm doing it again already because I like it that much. It is such an easy, memorizable repeat. Last time you may have noticed these were on DPNs. They're on Magic Loop at the moment. The DPNs I had on here were, I don't know how long they were, but they were too long to do socks. They were just way too long for this little bitty sock. So I changed it over to Magic Loop, and I'm just really enjoying working with the yarn, the pattern. They are just making me very happy right now. So I cannot wait to work on these some more. Austin's blanket, finishing that up, weaving in the ends, and then my June socks kind of took over. So I'm excited to get to work on these a little bit more. All right, my next work in progress is in a bag from Twist Fiber Studio, and this was a gift from Tori of the Toriology podcast, and I really love this bag. It's nice and squishy, and the fabric is just so pretty and bright and perfect for summer. And in here I have my mini stripe cow, which I'm loving. And I've got some stoppers on here, look at those. I got those at the Salty Sheep. We'll talk about them just a little bit later and some other purchases from there. And I really like these little needle stoppers. Perfect for when you're doing something in the round. But okay, here's where I am at so far with my mini stripe cowl. Isn't that pretty, you guys? So the pattern you're alternating, you've got your ribbing on the bottom or the top, I guess you could do it either way. And you've got some textured and then just your plain knit, textured, plain knit, and you're kind of alternating as you go up. So for the bottom here, this was the bottom, and then I will repeat this bit at the top in the same color. This was in a Malabrigo sock, and the colorway I believe is Pearl. I know I've got it in here somewhere, but I believe it was Pearl. Then, so that was the Malabrigo, and then I've got the Cozy mini set from Angie's shop. And I love these colors. So I've done 3 so far. So what I'm doing is the Malabrigo at the top and the bottom, because in the pattern you can use just these plain knit as your minis, and then you could keep this same color for all of your textured sections. And that's what the pattern picture that Angie has on Ravelry, that's how it's done. But I decided I wanted to use up all of the minis in the mini set that Angie sent me to use for this. So I did the Malabrigo at the bottom, it'll be at the top. The mini set came with 7 minis, so I'm alternating those. So I'm doing the more solid and tonal colors as the textured, and then the other minis as the plain knit sections. So I've used 3 so far. And let's see, what else do I have to use? I've got 4 more to use, and one is falling apart here. I did them in little cakes, and they're just a mess in here. I probably should have just done little balls. So that's where I am right now, and I think I'm ready. I think I've done the amount of rows I needed to do in that one. So next I'm going to do the dark gray, and then this brown, this lighter color, this, and then I'll go back to Malabrigo. So that's how that's going to get worked up. So I'm really, really happy with how this project is going. I definitely think I'm going to do some of these for Christmas. I'm going to see exactly how much grams and kind of do some math to figure out exactly what I'm using when I do it this way, and see if I have enough left from my starting point mystery knit along to do one using those leftover yarns, because I think that would be really pretty. I loved the colors in that. All right, so that one is going well. And last work in progress that we have to talk about. This is in a bag from, oh gosh, it's Olivia. This Handmade Life, I want to say. I hope I'm not wrong on that. But this is a bag from her. And I love this patchwork bag. I just want like all the floral everything right now. I'm just so, I don't know, I'm very into floral right now. So in here I have a baby sweater. It's kind of a mess in here because I took it to basketball last night. Austin had a game. They won. Woo woo, go Austin. So we were watching the game before his, and I was working on this sweater, and I thought, oh, I can get this done, the body of it done, so that I'll have it to show on the podcast. I just have an inch of ribbing to do. No problem. Well, I was 5 rows into the 8 rows that I needed of ribbing and realized I had never switched to smaller needles. So I had to do some sweater surgery while at the game last night to get this on the smaller needles, and then I only got like 1.5 rows, 2 rows done in the ribbing. So the body is not done. But I am doing, it's going to show you, but I don't even, well, it's a free pattern, so I can go ahead and show you. I'm doing the Flax Light. This is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. Amazing pattern. Has so many different sizes. I'm sure everybody has heard about this pattern, but this is my first time doing it. The sizes, there are 7 child sizes and 10 adult sizes. That's insane, especially for a free pattern. So definitely check this out. And I've already got plans to do, I'll be doing at least 1 more, hopefully 2 more for Jessica for the charity knit along. and one for my niece. I would like to do one for myself. I've just got all of these ideas for flax light sweaters that I want to make. It's pretty crazy. But this one, well, okay, so I'm using stash yarn for this. This is a mess because of my sweater surgery last night. But this is just Bernat Softy Baby. Something that I had in a tote in the garage with baby yarn. Thought I would use it up. And it is actually very soft. The baby yarns that you can get at big box stores, while they are 100% acrylic, I think they're super soft 90% of the time. And this is one of them that are soft. So I did not check gauge on this at all. Who needs to, right? Well, this is definitely thicker than your typical fingering weight, so I should have. But I did not. So the sweater is not measuring for the smallest size. I was going for 0 to 6 months, and it is not measuring for that. So I'm not even sure if Jessica can use a larger size, if they would take them. I don't know. Jessica, if you're watching this, let me know. If not, I'll try to send you a message and see if you could use larger sizes. Because this is definitely measuring larger than what a 0 to 6 months should be. But it's still absolutely adorable, and I'm loving it. And I'm definitely in the middle of a round. So this is worked top down, raglan style. I've got the sleeves on waist yarn, and I will go back and do those once I finish the ribbing. I got 2 rows done of the ribbing on the smaller needles. I just could not believe I did that. I just wasn't paying attention. Oh, I'm gonna whip these 8 rows out of ribbing and have this done to show on the podcast. It was a good effort. But I'm really enjoying it. I wish I would have been knitting things like this when my boys were little. Because look how cute it is. It's adorable. I don't know, maybe that's a 0 to 6 month size. It's just been so long since I've been around a tiny, tiny baby. I have no idea. All right, so you've seen the yarn that I'm using. The needles that I'm using, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. We were there over the weekend, and I've never used this brand. I believe this is their brand, Yarnology. I just didn't have all the sizes that I needed in 16 inch because you need a 16 inch and a 3.75 and a 2.75 millimeter, and then DPNs in the same size. I didn't have all the sizes I needed. I was being impatient and wanted to start it instead of driving to the Salty Sheep or ordering them online because we had company in town, which we'll talk later in chatter about. So I went ahead and picked these up while I was there, and they're not horrible. The cable isn't the best, but the needle isn't bad. I don't know that it kind of feels like metal. Kind of not. I don't know. It doesn't even say what it is, but they're serving their purpose. So I'm not minding them at all. Next ones that I do, I will check gauge, definitely, for sure. As soon as, I'm going to go ahead and finish this one because I'm so far on it already, and then I'm going to break into my fingering weight yarns and do one and check gauge and make the right size to send to Jessica because I want to send at least one little sweater along with some of the hats that I'm making. Right. So I guess we should talk about, normally I call it mail, but this time there's some things that I didn't get in the mail that I've purchased. So we're just gonna do some stash enhancement right now. Now I did kind of reorganize a bit over there in my dining room. It's kind of being taken over as the yarn room bit by bit. I got some new cubbies because we did some redecorating in Austin's room. So the cubbies that he had in his room, one of them came out and I swiped it and put it in here. So I got some of these cubbies, and this is all stuff that came in the mail or that I bought that I need to show you guys. I have not been very good lately, which kind of brings me to something that we're going to chat about. And I guess I should go ahead and talk about it now since I'm getting ready to show you how bad I've been lately. So for July, I am going to attempt to buy nothing. Zero. Nothing. I'm going to try to buy no yarn in July. I will make the exception that if I go to the Salty Sheep, I will buy yarn there because I cannot go to the Salty Sheep and not support her shop because it's just amazing. So if I go to the Salty Sheep for any purpose, to meet up with someone or just to hang out and knit, if I see something that I cannot live without, I will let myself buy it because I am all about supporting local. And I'm all about supporting indie dyers, period. Don't get me wrong. But that's the exception that I'm going to make. I'm going to try not to do any online purchasing for yarn in July. I am going to call it Just Stash July because I'm going to try to work from just my stash the entire month of July. That terrifies me just thinking about it, you guys, because there are so many things that I see on a daily basis on Instagram that I want to order so bad. I don't. There are so many things I leave that I don't order, so that's good, but there are just so many times where there are impulse buys, and I'm really running out of room in my hutch here. All of my yarn is in my hutch. I'm running out of room. And every time I get in there to look for something, I'm like, oh, this one, oh, that one, I want to work with them all. So why don't I? Because I'm constantly ordering things and there are new pretty things that I want to work with. So they get worked with and some of the pretty things in here just sit. So Just Stash July. If you want to join in with me, let me know down below or in the Ravelry group. I can certainly open up a thread so we can kind of chat about our progress and maybe talk each other down from hitting that purchase button all the time. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it, you guys, but I'm seriously going to put forth the effort and try. And I think if I can make it through the entire month of July, I will be so proud of myself for doing it. So that's where I'm at with that. But now let's talk about all the stuff that I've purchased recently. I'm going to save that for just a moment. But first up, I'm going to kind of try to go in the order that they were purchased, that they came in. So I have got a skein of yarn. Let's see, there was something else that came with it too. This is from Nora George Yarns. There is her website. And there was a little stitch marker that came with it too. I ordered this a while back, so this isn't really a recent purchase. I ordered it a while back and it just shipped and came since the last time we've talked. But this was her Jane Eyre. She does like a literature monthly kind of colorway. So I purchased this because it's Jane Eyre and I had to. And this is on her 75/25 Superwash Merino in nylon. And look how pretty these colors are. The speckles, that purple, and then you've got some green. I'm not sure what this is going to be. No idea. I think it would be really pretty in a shawl. Look at that. You've got like specks of green all throughout there. Look how pretty that is. I love this. This is my very first Nora George yarns. I have had a mini from a friend, but I've never actually had a full skein of Nora George, so I'm very excited to have snagged a Jane Eyre skein. Next, I have a kit that I could not live without. Just couldn't live without. This is, try to hold it up here together, the Doctor's Ugly Christmas Sweater. So the yarn is from Meg at Bad Wolf Girl Studios. It's her Etsy store, Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits Podcast. And look at this. It's stripes up. You've got stripes of the blue and then stripes of all of this Christmassy goodness. Oh, I just cannot wait. And Meg is doing a Christmas in July knit along. So I may go ahead and knit these up for myself. I thought maybe they would be for Eric, but there's Stelina, and I don't think he'd really care for that. So these are just going to be for me. And I'm going to enjoy every selfish moment of it, let me tell you, because this is gorgeous and it's so soft. I love Meg's yarn. So soft and squishy. So yes, this was half of the kit. The other half. This bag, you guys. This is from Georgianne of Stitching Plaza. And Georgianne also has a podcast, and it is the 606 Main podcast. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Look how cute. And then on the inside, some cool blue fabric, very Doctor Who-ish. Love it. So let me pop up the bottom. It is a boxed bottom. And I'm going to be using this for these. These might be my July socks, maybe. I don't know. But I'll definitely be entering them into Meg's knit along. So look at that. This is my very first bag from Georgianne, and y'all, I really, really like it. It is nice and roomy and sturdy. Love her attention to detail on it. As far as like even going with this, totally matching. Like, I love it. Love it. Fabulous kit, ladies. I was so excited to get one. I was so worried I was not going to get one, but I snagged one and I was so excited. Absolutely love it. And here is Meg's card. It also came with some Christmas progress keepers and a cute little note from Meg. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last episode, I talked about how when Felici came out, I was going to buy every single color, and I didn't know when it was coming out again. The day, I can't remember if I recorded and put it up on the same day, but the day that it went up, I got so many messages from people saying, Felici is back. So this happened. These are only half of the colors, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to do one humongous purchase at one time. I'll do half, and then, because some were already in low stock by the time I finally got around to ordering them. So I did half of them, and then as soon as they were restocked, I did the other half, and they should actually be here today. They're out for delivery this morning, and I'm so excited. But I did order half of them. I ordered 2 of each because they are 50-gram balls. And if you are watching and you have never heard of Felici, super soft, super affordable, I cannot talk today, super affordable self-striping yarn. I definitely recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so the ones that I got, this is Steamer Trunk. I'm actually just going to show you one because they're the same. I got 2 of each. Steamer Trunk. Just going to plop those down on the floor. This is Stone Harbor. And this one is, well, let me look. This one's probably my favorite out of this bit that I've ordered here. This is Punch Bug. Now, when I looked at this one online, I was like, oh, I like it, but I don't know that I'm that crazy about it. But the tone of the colors, look at that. I don't know. I love this. This caught my eye as soon as I got this package. This was the first one that caught my eye, and I didn't think that it would be. Just goes to show you, sometimes things look a little different than when you order them online. So there's that one. This one is the one that I thought, which I do love it, but this was my like, oh, I love that one. This is Mint Chip, because y'all know I love mint, and I love mint and chocolate. So this is Mint Chip. And then the last one that I ordered in this bit is Cheshire Gren. And I love this one too. So I am obviously a Knit Picks Felici addict, and you guys know Knit Picks gets me every time. So when I split it up, I was super excited to see that I got free shipping because I spent $50. Yeah. So anyways, the other half should be here today, and I cannot wait. Where am I going to put them is the problem. Guess we'll see. All right, so last thing that I got, it did not come in the mail. This I purchased at the Salty Sheep. I'm going to talk more in chatter about the time that I spent down there. It was on, I know I wrote it down, June 17th is when I went down there. So in chatter, right after I show y'all this, we're going to talk a bit. I'm going to show you some pictures about the fun that I had at the Salty Sheep. But while I was there, of course, I had to purchase something because, like I said, I can't go and not support her shop. She's just so amazing. Peggy is so sweet. Her shop is amazing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that in chatter, but I have to support her. So I already showed you the stoppers that I got, and these are by Coco Knits. They've already been opened. They're on a few projects right now, but I love these stoppers. And these are the small stitch stoppers, and they accommodate needle sizes 0 through 8 US, which is 2 to 5 millimeter. And there are 18 pieces in here, 6 each of 3 sizes. And this was only $7. Peggy has recently started carrying hedgehog fibers. I kind of missed the initial bunch that she had. I was late getting down there. She got it a while back, so there weren't, I mean, she still had a good bit left, and there were so many colors that I wanted, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to get them if I'm not like, oh my gosh, I have to have them. There were not any full skeins that I really felt that way about. I love them. I definitely would have used them in many projects, but she had some of the sock minis, and this colorway that I got is called Oracle. Now, I would die to have a full skein of this. Look at this. I can't even, you guys. I need a full skein of this so bad. The colors in this are amazing. Look at those speckles. Oh my gosh. I need Hedgehog Oracle in my life. Peggy should be getting another shipment from them. She ordered it the day she got this shipment. So hopefully I'm going to make sure I get down there ASAP as soon as she gets it and see if she has any of this. We'll see. I might just have to message her and say, hey, if you got any Oracle in that shipment, set that bad boy aside for me because this is gorgeous. I need this. So I got this. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. We'll see. Heels and toes maybe. How many grams are these? 20 grams. So I don't know, we'll see. All right, next, I got some Malabrigo because I just love Malabrigo, you guys. So I have been eyeing this like every single time that I go in. This is Malabrigo sock. I don't know how you say this. Arco Iris, I'm probably saying that wrong. But I have eyed this so many times and not gotten it. Look at those colors, how rich those are. So I got it. And this was sitting there as well. I'll kill that pronunciation as well, so we'll just show you. Here we go. These two together, I'm thinking. What do you think? I think that'll really bring out, see that there? I think that'll really bring out that color. Love these two. And also, because I sat there for a while and I knit, and the longer I sit there, the more I wander around and see things that I just have to have. I picked up Malabrigo Book 11. And I skimmed through this, and there were quite a few that I wanted to do. So I picked it up. This is the Bedford slouchy hat. I really like this. I'm just going to skim through and show you just a few so you'll kind of know, do you want to get that or not? And then this lace trim triangle shawl. I think this is what I'm going to use the 2 skeins that I got for. I just really like that. I think that's really pretty. So I think I'm going to use the Malabrigo I bought for that. And then I'm just going to show you one more thing I think out of here. Oh, I don't know, maybe a few. I like that. But there was one specific sweater. This is called Green Witch. It's a chevron pullover. So I'm going to be doing that for sure. That is so pretty and it looks so comfy. I think make it a little oversized and it would just be so yummy to wear in the winter and the fall. So I'm definitely going to be doing this sometime soon, maybe. I want to make so many garments for myself, knit them. I need to get a little bit more motivated and on the ball with that. But just stash July. I have to wait till after July, right? Just stash July. Just stash July. Keep repeating it and maybe it'll sink in. We'll see. You guys may see me completely fall on my face and fail for just stash July. I don't know. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try really hard. Okay, so that is it for everything that I indulged on throughout the past few weeks. So next up, we just have a little bit of chatter and then we are all done for the day. So I talked about going to the Salty Sheep. I went down there. She was doing a yarn bombing of her lamp post outside her store, and she was also having a sidewalk sale to make room for some new yarn. So I went down and I helped out with the yarn bombing. I hung out and knit for a bit and chatted with some of the ladies. I love that store. You walk in, every single time I've been in there are ladies sitting and knitting and chatting, and they're so welcoming and kind. This was the first time I've actually just sat down and knit with them. I've taken a few classes. I've been down there to do some shopping, and I've kind of chatted as I walked around a bit about what I was shopping for, what they were working on, but I've never actually went and sat and knit. I guess kind of, I am an introvert, I think, and I don't know, I just kind of felt like I don't know them. They seem to all know each other and I don't know them, so I'm not going to intrude on their knitting. But I did this time and I had so much fun. Everybody was so nice and friendly, and we just chatted about knitting and life and anything and everything. I love how you can sit down with knitters and feel like that time that you sit and you knit with them, they're just your best friends in the entire world. It's just such a great community, I think. So I did that and I helped out with the yarn bombing. I will insert all of the pictures right here. So it was a lot of fun. It was a really nice day, pretty hot. But they had hot dogs and refreshments for everybody, the sidewalk sale going on. Like I said, everybody is just so nice and friendly, and I love getting to go there and see all the pretty yarns. She has such a great selection of different yarns in her shop. And this yarn shop is located in Swansboro, North Carolina. So if you are ever in or around the area, it is most definitely worth the trip. Like I said, she is carrying Hedgehog right now. She has Malabrigo. She got Yarn on the House just recently. Trying to think what else she carries. The Fiber Studio, which is a local North Carolina yarn dyer. And she also, while I was there, I noticed that she is carrying Daisy Girl and Company bags. And I was so excited. So next time I go down there, if there was one I was eyeing that was a yellow floral fabric, because again, I'm just all about the florals right now. So next time I'm down there, I think I'm gonna have to splurge and purchase that bag for myself, because I love Daisy Girl and Company's. I call them the peekaboo bags. You guys have seen mine so many times. It is one of my absolute favorite bags. So next time I'm down there, I think I'm gonna have to splurge and purchase that bag for myself. So yes, like I said, if you're in the area, check out the Salty Sheep Yarn Shop. If you are in the area and going to be there, let me know. I would love to meet some viewers or fellow podcasters. So just let me know and we can meet up down there. Eric's mom was in town this past weekend. So the Salty Sheep was the weekend before last on June 17th. And then Eric's mom got in town this past Friday. We completely surprised the boys. They had no idea. I've gotten kind of bad with the surprises lately. They always seem to have some idea that company is coming. We try to surprise them because, for one, if they don't know, they're not going to bug me about when are they going to be here? What time are they going to be here? Well, are they almost here yet? Well, where are they at right now? If you have kids or you babysit kids or you have nieces or nephews or grandkids, you know how that goes. So if they don't know no one's coming, they don't bug. So we just don't tell them. And the surprises are usually great. So this time we did our typical Friday stuff. I had my knit group and they went and they sat and they usually play on their devices. Bad mom maybe, but it gives me a few hours during the summer of just me time with my knitting buddies. So anyways, we had knitting. We went to the grocery store. We came home, got everything put away, and we're sitting in here in this room and the door opened and they thought it was Eric, and Wyatt's like, "Hi, Daddy." Well, Eric's mom comes around the corner this way into the room and they lost it. They were so excited. I got them good this time. I did not let on in any way that anyone was coming. So that was a great surprise, and we had a lot of fun. She got to see Austin play in a game on Friday night, his basketball team, and we did some shopping and just spent some time together, so it was a lot of fun. We watched The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, which is an old Don Knotts movie, so if you like Don Knotts, my kids love the Andy Griffith Show. So if you're a Don Knotts fan, it's kind of a mystery, funny, of course, because he's in it, it's funny. They loved it. The kids were giggling so much. So that's something that I used to watch all the time at my grandmother's house. We loved that movie. I could still recite probably half of the movie for you. So definitely check that out. That's kind of all we've been up to. Eric's mom was here, so that was a lot of fun. And it's just summer, so we have not been really like overscheduling our summer. We're just kind of taking each day and going with it. Lots of pool time. Wyatt's birthday is coming up this Sunday, July 2nd. He will be 8. I cannot believe that my baby will be 8 years old. That's insane to me. So he will be 8 this Sunday. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. We might take him to a baseball game Saturday night. He's really gotten into baseball lately. So we might go to a baseball game, and then Sunday he wants steak for dinner. So we'll be having steak, and I will be making his birthday cake. They always request a mommy-made birthday cake, and I'm happy to oblige. So I'll be making his birthday cake with Spider-Man candies on the top. That was his request as well. So I need to go on the hunt and search around for some Spider-Man candies for the top of his cake. So that's pretty much what we'll be doing. We're not doing a big birthday party. It's kind of hard with him having a summer birthday to really get invites out to his friends and all of that. So it'll probably just be us, and we'll just hang out on Sunday, maybe take him to the pool or the beach, whatever he wants to do. And I think that is all I have for today. I am surprised my battery has not died. Knock on wood, watch it die right here at the end. I'm surprised my battery has not died. Hopefully I'll get this edited and up today, because Fridays are always crazy, so I probably won't have time tomorrow. But I did pretty good. I was not going to record today. I was going to put it off until next week because things have just been crazy with company being here. And then if you have company come visit, you know that it takes at least a day to kind of get your household back in order after company is gone. So I got the house back in order, and I thought, oh, I'll just wait until next week to record. Well, Eric has a 4-day weekend, and I was like, there's no way I'll record if he's home. So I went ahead and recorded today for you all, and it's a good thing because I had quite a bit to share. The Scrappy segment did get cut out of last episode. There were so many issues with getting it edited and saved to my iPad. Memory was just getting ate up, and there was no reason for it to go anywhere. And I'm not tech savvy, and I could not figure it out. So once I cut that segment out, it saved. And then automatically, all of this memory appeared out of nowhere. I don't know, my iPad was having issues. So anyways, hopefully it goes smoother this time. And I did not talk about Scrappy stuff this time, but next episode is the first podcast of the month, so we will be talking about Scrappy projects, and we will be announcing winners for the Sock Crazy Cow. So don't forget to get your socks entered into the finished objects thread in the Ravelry group. Also, please join us for the mini stripe cowl if you so wish to. It is a great, fun, easy pattern, and we will have some fun prizes for that as well. A huge welcome back to returning viewers. Thank you so much for coming back to join me, and a huge welcome to new viewers if this is your first time watching. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy the podcast, and subscribe if you haven't already. It'll notify you when new videos come out for the podcast. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that y'all have a few really good weeks until I see you again. Thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting. Bye.